Hi everyone, this is DJ from Floriani. I'm very excited today because I get to talk to you a little bit about the brand new Appli-Quilt technique and software. You may have heard of this technique already by attending an event recently, through your local dealer, or from somebody else that's heard of it. And I'm just excited to share with you a little bit more about what Appli-Quilt is. So what is an Appli-Quilt block? Well, it's a brand new technique to building quilt blocks inside of an embroidery hoop. It utilizes kiss-cut fabric pieces that are joined together using decorative MOTIF and STIPPLE binding stitches instead of the traditional flip and fold piecing technique. It's the perfect technique for embroiderers wanting to create quilt blocks in the hoop. It's also a perfect companion technique for traditional quilters, as it provides an easy and fast way to create intricate blocks in a fraction of the time. Create blocks in the hoop that cannot be done using a flip and fold technique, regardless if that's in the hoop or not. And best of all, with the Appli-Quilt technique, it's fast, easy, and a lot of fun. Let's take a quick look at the key attributes of an Appli-Quilt block. First of all, my favorite thing is that there is no bulky seams on the back side of the fabric. That's right, you do not see any seams or fabric on the back side of the block. All you see are decorative stipple and MOTIF binding stitches. This is achieved because we actually cut the pieces to the exact size they need to be prior to assembling the block. The next best thing is it allows you to do precise corners and perfect rounded shapes. This is something that you cannot create using a typical flip and fold method. So we're able to create blocks that we've never been able to create before. And lastly, you're able to decorate your Appli-Quilt block your way, making each and every one your very own unique masterpieces. So let's take a quick look at what the Appli-Quilt software allows us to do. First of all, the Appli-Quilt software makes creating Appli-Quilt blocks super easy. We have never created a software program as easy to use and learn as Appli-Quilt. So we're super excited to get it into your hands and see what blocks you can create using this brand new software. These Appli-Quilt tools are currently available inside of the Floriani Total Quilter software. And the Appli-Quilt software provides you with everything that you need to create, decorate, and save your Appli-Quilt block. You have over 200 Appli-Quilt blocks at your disposal to work from. But don't worry, if there's a block that you do not find in the library, you have the ability to create your own Appli-Quilt blocks, and it's very easy and fun to do. Next, you'll be able to decorate any of the blocks the way that you want them, making each and every one your own by choosing the MOTIF and stipple binding stitches that you want to use on your block. And then, when you're done creating the block in the software, you export the block using our export wizard, and this wizard makes it super easy to generate all of the files you need to create your Appli-Quilt block automatically. It will automatically create the cut files you need, the stitch files you need, and the print files you need. If you have a die cutting fabric cutting machine, it will provide you with all the files that you need to cut that fabric on your machine. But don't worry, if you don't have a fabric cutter, you can create the print files to be able to cut your pieces to the precise size using standard fabric scissors or a rotary cutter. Once you have the pieces cut, You just follow the easy guide to stitching your Appli-Quilt block together. So let's take a quick look at what it takes to assemble an Appli-Quilt block. First, you need to prep and cut your fabric pieces. To do this, you'll want to use the Floriani Applique Wonder on the back side of the fabric to get it ready for cutting. This will also help you stick the pieces down to the template that will be created. Then you're going to cut all the fabric pieces to the exact size using either your die cutting machine or using scissors and a rotary cutter. Step 2, you're going to hoop a piece of Floriani no-show nylon mesh inside of a hoop large enough to contain your quilt block. You're going to load your hoop into the machine, and then you're going to stitch the first color in the design. This is the template stitch. Step 3, you're going to remove the hoop from your machine, but be careful, don't remove the stabilizer from the hoop. You want to keep the stabilizer securely inside of the hoop. You're going to take those fabric pieces that you've cut, you're going to peel off the release paper, and you're going to stick your fabric pieces into place over the template stitches as seen in the image. Step 4, use an iron to press the fabric for 3 to 5 seconds over each area. All this does is helps to make sure that the fabric is locked down to the stabilizer prior to all the decorative stitches that are going to go over the top. This step isn't required, but it is definitely recommended. Step 5, you're going to place the hoop back into the machine, stitch the rest of the design onto the fabric pieces, and when the stitching is complete, you're done. The block is finished. You'll remove the block from the hoop and trim away the excess stabilizer. It is truly that easy to create an Appli-Quilt block. You're going to love how simple it is and how much fun it is to create these. I wanted to show you a couple of examples of 2 quilts that one of our educators made utilizing Appli-Quilt blocks. In the first example on the left, we decided to use a quilt block that included circular patterns to it. So we created this block, added some decorative stipple stitches, and then assembled all the blocks together to make this beautiful quilt. And on the right, my personal favorite quilt that we've done so far is just an example of taking one Appli-Quilt block and arranging it in different ways to make this beautiful pattern. And in this example, we focused mostly on the decorative motif stitches that lie between each of the fabric pieces. We chose a pattern that would show up well and add some additional texture and fun to the block. So as you can see, the Appli-Quilt technique is something very unique and different, and we're super excited to get this technique into your hands, and we cannot wait to see the blocks and the quilts that you make utilizing the Appli-Quilt technique.